Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Oh, I forgot to change my glasses. I know. I mean, we have the vibe glasses, right? Or the perspective. Ooh, let me change my perspective. Anyways, happy Thursday, everyone. It is Things to Think on Thursday, and we're on number 24 of Self-Love December. Today's going to be a good one, but as it is Things to Think on Thursday, I'm going to give you some things to think about. Going to give you some things to think about. But first, while we're waiting for people to come on, let's do the Aloha deck. I'm sorry, I'm having hair issues today. Yeah. So let's see. What does this thing... Ooh, look at that. All these wanting to come out. Let's see what needs to be heard today, what needs to be said today. Okay. Oh, the toucan. I know what that one is. Speak up. Speak up. Let people hear your voice. Speak up for what you believe in. All those good things. Whoops. I'm getting some old favorites here. Let's see. One more shuffle and we'll see how that goes. Alright. Let's see here. Oh, the wall of waves. Interesting. Alright, I think that's it. Alrighty then. Let's get rolling. So, toucan was the first one to pop out. I actually really like this one. It's about speaking up and being heard. Toucan meaning communication, showy, showmanship, need to be seen, good fortune, or luck. So, you're also going to have some good luck. It's time to step out of the shadows and be seen. Let yourself shine. Let yourself shine. Good morning, baby sibling. Stage fright, fear of public speaking. Call upon the toucan totem to see you through. But most of all, this is a time of good luck. Good luck is coming. But also communication. Communication is so key. Communicate. Okay? Communication. So, and quite possibly the need to be seen. Maybe, you have these great ideas in, at work, but you're afraid to say something because you feel like you're not going to be heard, or maybe you feel like they're not good enough. You're never going to know unless you say something. Okay. So just work up the courage and speak up. Speak up for yourself. The sun shines. The sun is so bright. He has to wear shades, or she, it. Even in your darkest moments, the sun continues to shine. Keep moving forward. Do not give up. Even in your darkest moments, the sun continues to shine. Do not give up. Keep moving forward. All right? The wall of waves. Who is stuck behind the wall of waves? All right. The wall of water. A wall of water made of crashing waves separates you from the ocean of bliss. Have the courage to face the storm and sail out of the sea of misery. You can do this. Be brave and sail forth. Sometimes I surprise myself when I write these things. I know. What can I say? I don't always think my brain fires that well, so when it fires just right, it makes me happy. So, a wall of water. Okay? We're always talking about that, right? The ocean of bliss. Sea of misery, island of overthinking that sits in the middle of the sea of misery. This is also where communication can come in. So, if you have to, speak up. If you have to, speak up. All right, do what the toucan says. Speak up. All right. Again, a wall of water made of crashing waves separates you from the ocean of bliss. Have the courage to face the storm and sail out of the sea of misery. You can do this. Be brave and sail forth. It does take courage to sail out of the sea of misery. Good morning, Lidina, because it is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It is not easy. It is going to take a lot of work on your part, a lot of internal work on your part. But you can do this. You've come this far in life, right? You've survived a lot of things, which have just prepared you for this journey that you either are about to embark on, are currently in, or that you're just finishing up the cycle that maybe has come full circle and you're not at the beginning. Remember, it's like the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot card, okay? Everybody's like, ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune's always spinning, so even if you're going through a bad time, remember, the good times will come back, all right? And also, you can make it more bearable just by the way you learn to handle things, the way you learn to face things. That's what Self-Love December is all about. It's giving you the tools to practice and utilize through 2022 and moving on from that. I mean, the first couple of months, you'll probably be remembering how to do these things. You'll be going back and saying, oh my God, what was it, that day 15 or whatever? You'll have these tools in your belt, and the more you start to use them and the more you start to utilize them, the more they will start to make sense, and they'll just become a habit in your life. So you will be better prepared to deal with, the negative things or the bad things that might come up. Okay. So, the coconut tree. The coconut tree is a symbol of being at peace. It is also a symbol of perseverance, as it can hold its own in stormy weather. Right? When life is hard, stand your ground and weather the storm. I know it's hard. It's kind of what we were just talking about, wasn't it? That's right. When life is hard, stand your ground and weather the storm. You can do this. Be a coconut tree or hang on to one. But just tie yourself to a coconut tree. Just watch out. Wear a helmet, because I'm sure those coconuts do fall. But somebody once said to me, maybe it'll knock some sense into you. Oh my God, the shit people tell us through our lives. The coconut tree, again, is a symbol of being at peace. It's at being at peace. It is also a symbol of perseverance, as it can hold its own in stormy weather. This is kind of the validation for the ocean of bliss. It's like we talk about, right? All the time. The ocean of bliss is not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. But when you get there, you've gained these tools. You've learned these tools that will help you, conquer any storm that you might face. Okay? So again, Self-Love December and all the tools that I'm giving you in this last month, these 25 of these tools, and tomorrow will be the 25th one. So, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. The pumpkin. I have some pumpkin pie downstairs. I love pumpkin pie. It's pumpkin time. Gratitude, generosity, harvest, abundance, potential, creativity, autumn, fertility, love, wealth, and good luck. Carve out the path of your life's journey. It will be okay. No fear. Carve out the path of your life's journey. And remember, see, it's a gourd, so it has the seeds, right? Plant seeds. Plant these seeds of thought. Plant these seeds of growth for yourself. And if you want to, be like those pumpkin contests they have, where, who can grow the biggest pumpkin, right? Who can grow the most? Challenge yourself to evolve, challenge yourself to grow, to personally grow, to let go of these anchors that are holding you to the past, that are holding you back. It's not always easy, okay? I mean, I'm not trying to bring anyone down by saying it's not always easy. I'm trying to give you the honest and raw truth. But the outcome is amazing. If you have to hang in there, not if you have to hang in there, you have to hang in there. Okay? Do this for you, nobody else. You don't evolve and you don't grow for anyone but you. They just get to experience the best of you when you've done this. And there are going to be times when you're going to have a bad day. Don't shame yourself or make yourself feel bad. There are some people I know that have so many good days that when they have a bad day, they don't know what to do. They freak out. They just cannot handle it. And it breaks them sometimes. Good morning, Auntie. So don't let it break you. Bad days are going to happen. Okay, bad days are going to happen. But sail through the storm. Make it to the next sunrise. If you can't do it day by day, do it moment by moment. Just take it moment by moment. Deep breaths and stay calm. Just like yesterday's subject, right? Deep breaths and stay calm. All right, so here's the last one of the Aloha deck. Most people die with their music still locked up inside of them. Benjamin Disraeli. Most people die with their music still locked up inside of them. I'm going to refer back to this one. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Don't let your music die within you. Okay, everybody has a beautiful song that needs to be heard by the world, needs to be shared with the world. Maybe it won't be on a grand scale like some people, maybe it will. You don't know. But just know that when you allow your song, your own personal song, your own personal feelings and thoughts and ideas be heard, it is going to help somebody. And then it'll help somebody else because they'll share it. It's a ripple effect. It's progression. All right, so we are on number 24 of Self-Love December. Things to think on Thursday. It's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. Mild controversy, eh? Mild controversy. And I say that it's mildly controversial because some people will sit there and say, I don't think so. You know, my happiness depends on what I can do for everybody else. No, your happiness starts with you. What other people get is a bonus. It is the best of you because you are feeling at your shiniest. You know, it's like taking the pledge and I might be dating myself with that one. It's like taking that pledge and just polishing yourself up, you know, or whatever is, you know, organically healthy nowadays to polish things. It is polishing yourself up. It is polishing yourself up from the inside out. Okay. So I have lots of notes for this one. In fact, the last one I'm going to read is from drhurd.com, HURD.com. I was Googling things last night and it was just kind of a hunch I had. And I saw this and I'm going to finish this with that because it hit the nail so hard on the head for myself that I really think people might understand a little bit. And so it'll give me time to really kind of explain and go into it. But, don't look to others to fill your cup. Do it yourself. Do not look to others to fill your cup. Do it yourself. We're always talking about this, okay? I mean, how many, you know, this subject, believe it or not, has come up several times every week since we started Self-Love December about how your happiness has to come from within. You are in charge of your happiness. You cannot depend on anyone else to change, to be different, to, you know, suddenly poof into somebody that you want them to be. You have to change. You're the one that has to find your happiness. And that may not be popular thinking with a lot of people. But when you really start to think about it, when you really start to understand that you can actually lead by example, you know, and also, you know, if you're empathic, you're not just picking up on people's energy, but you're putting out an energy. And people will pick up on that. So you have to make sure too that you are putting out something into this world that you want to be in this world. Okay, the struggle has been real with me for this one. I'm not going to lie. You know, it's like I said, the Aloha perspective is all about being raw and honest about the things that we go through, the crazy emotions that we go through. It's about spreading that Aloha. It's not just about goodbye and hello. It's about, you know, the love, the compassion, the empathy, the understanding, the kindness. That's what that's all about. That's what this is all about. You know, it's about teaching people and guiding people and giving people the tools to really kind of dig deep within to heal themselves. We all have some kind of weird shit we need to heal. All the guck and the muck and all that stuff. But if we don't take the time to do that and we just try to kind of polish the surface, are we really doing anything? You know, they make these interesting little cloths for jewelry. Okay, well, it's hiding behind my computer monitor, but so I can't grab it. But actually, let me see. Nope, I can't. It's not there. So, but they're these little tiny things. Okay, and older sibling bought some, and I'm like, what is this pack of green tissue-looking things? And she says, oh, they clean your jewelry. And I was like, yeah, right. You know, because I mean, how many times do you take your dress or your shirt or whatever and try to wipe off something, right? You know, you're just like, whoa, okay. And it doesn't really do anything. These little cloths are kind of what, it goes beneath the surface. It goes beneath the surface. And that's what these lessons are. They're those tiny little cloths that go beneath the surface to bring back your shine, or to show you the shine that you never knew you had. You know, how many of us wake up one morning and we feel great, and then all of a sudden we're just pelted with icky thoughts, negative mindsets? That was actually a couple days ago. That was Monday's subject, I believe. Getting rid of bad habits and negative mindsets. This kind of goes with that. You are in charge of your happiness. So making others happy is a beautiful thing and should be a bonus, not just a source of your happiness. Okay, we just talked about that. Making others happy is a beautiful thing and should be a bonus, not just a source of your happiness. I've mentioned this before. How many times have you done something amazing for somebody and it made you feel so great, but once that moment was over and once you left, you just kind of feel all blah again? It's because your happiness is dependent on somebody else. This great feeling that you want to feel inside, this joy, even in the bad moments, this little happiness candle will always be shining. It's just, you have to sometimes stoke the flame, okay? Or we'll call it a fireplace, all right? This little fireplace of joy and happiness is still there, but sometimes you have to throw that wood on the fire. Sometimes you have to stoke those flames, but only you can do it. You can't take somebody else's log and throw it on your fire and say, oh, okay. Because if you keep doing that and you're not, you don't have a good supply of logs here for your fireplace, you're not always there to make somebody else happy. I mean, you're not always in somebody's space to make them happy. So are you waiting for the next big moment to feel great again? No. Keep a healthy supply of logs. Okay, your proverbial logs by your fireplace, so that when it needs to be stoked, when it needs to be kept going, you can just throw your own log on there, your own happiness flame. Okay? Never put the key to your happiness in someone else's pocket. Now, I did get this from that website I was telling you about. Never put the key to your happiness in someone else's pocket. All right, we talked about the key yesterday. I even showed you the little key that magically fell off my desk, or fell off the thing that I have it on. I tell you, it has not done it since that moment. And it was perfect that it happened yesterday, because I think it was something that we really needed to talk about. I was talking yesterday about how we wear sometimes this ball and chain, and kind of like the old chain gang, right? Like you hear about it all the time. I think America might be the only one that had it. I don't know. But, you hear about, or you see those little cartoons with the prisoner with the ball and chain around their ankle. And, they can't run. They can move, but they can't run, right? And they probably have fantastic leg muscles in one leg, but they can't move that fast. And that's exactly what it is meant to do. It is meant to anchor you, to slow you down. And we equated that ball and chain with negativity and self-doubt. And yes, and just like my Auntie Charmaine says, self-love is to be self-sufficient. Yes, that made perfect sense. It really is meant to be self-sufficient, but not just self-sufficient. It's always okay to be able to do things for yourself, but it's also okay to ask for help. All right, self-sufficient is a wonderful thing until it becomes not a wonderful thing. I know people who are so self-sufficient that they don't know how to ask for help. And there are times when they need to, but they don't want to because they don't want to bother somebody. So self-sufficiency is really a fine line. There is a fine line. But I like what she said, because self-love really is about being self-sufficient. It's about bringing yourself joy. It's about bringing yourself that happiness. It's about finding things you love to do that bring you joy. It's about speaking up and saying, hey, you know what? We do the same thing, guys. Hey, group of friends or whatever, family. We do the same thing every Friday or Saturday. Let's try something different. I have an idea. And they may go for it. And not only may they go for it, but you finally have spoken up. You're going to have really a great time because it's something you've wanted to try. And it's not just you going along with everybody else, but you probably just added a new dynamic to this relationship. You know, you've spoken up, you've made yourself seen, just like the toucan, right? So again, if you have trouble speaking up, tap into the toucan totem. Ugh, tap into the toucan totem. Oh my God, this is like a tongue twister. But remember to never put the key to your happiness in someone else's pocket. All right? Just like that ball and chain, right? You hold the key to letting all the negative mindsets, self-doubts, all that stuff go. That will make you happy. Unchaining yourself from all that ick. But if you put the key to your happiness in somebody else's pocket, which is basically saying if you put the key to your happiness by making other people happy only, and not just your, and not only, sorry, let me try that again. By making other people happy and not paying attention to your own happiness, you're putting that key in somebody else's hand. You are now the prisoner and you have a prison warden. Okay? And it might be kind of a really kind of dark sort of example, but it's the truth, because you are putting your joy, your happiness, and you are giving it to somebody else. And then, you know, that's where you're constantly looking. That, my friends, is also a very big form of people pleasing. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I really am a recovering people pleaser. I do think we can, I don't know, this is rough because I don't often, I mean, I think I have on here, but I don't often admit that I'm a people pleaser, or I used to be. Sometimes I still am. But I'm also learning how to bring joy to myself. I'm learning how to do things that I love. And I need to be better at that, because I'm kind of in this place now where, again, I'm rebuilding my foundations, and a lot of stuff just seems so unattainable. You know, these things that you think will bring you joy. You don't always have to shoot for the moon to start with. Okay, you still got to build the rocket, right? I mean, you have to get all the parts together. But you know, you can also set the moon as your goal, or just shoot for it straight up. You know, just keep doing that. Whatever you need to do to bring joy to yourself, to bring that happiness to yourself, do it. Okay, even if it's taking a walk in the park, or just going for a drive, or maybe you like to go to the mall, or maybe you like to go to the movies. I love going to the movies. I love this feeling that I get when I leave movies. I am a total geek and a super geek, and I love the Marvel movies. You know, because even when they don't necessarily end the way you want them to end, because, you know, they're going to be tied into another movie, you leave with a good feeling, you know? I mean, last week I went to the movies and I saw The Kingsman, and I just, you know, the whole premise is kind of, you know, I don't want to give anything away, but there's just a lot of emotions in that movie. But ultimately I left feeling like, whoa. You know, and I mean, I wanted to run around the theater like 50 times because I had so much energy in me. But it's not just because the movie made me happy. It's because I put myself in that position, because I know going to the movies makes me happy. You know, having that whole experience, right? So I'm going to read this. A lot of times we will sit there. This is from drhurd.com, HURD.com, and it's Dr. DR. Well, it's short. Dr. drhurd.com. But there was a whole list of things that they talked about, a whole big ass paragraph, and it was an article, and they talked about how a lot of times we will ask, I have a right to happiness, so where is it? I have a right to happiness, so where is it? This really kind of hits the nail on the head. You're looking everywhere for your happiness except in here. You are looking outward for things on the outside to make you happy instead of in here, where it should be coming from, where your happiness should be building from. And then they talked about how some people will go to therapy for this, how some people are people pleasers, how, you know, some people, you know, strive for, you know, like their happiness being validated by social groups or popularity. Do not look to be validated by social groups or popularity, okay? You are not going to be everybody's cup of tea. All right, I am certainly not everybody's cup of tea. And that's not meant to bring you down. What that's meant is just, be yourself. That's when people come to you. That's what draws people in. It's that charisma. Everybody has charisma. Okay? And maybe some people have an abundance of it. I don't know, but everybody has that. Just a lot of people don't know how to stoke that fire and let it shine. Charisma is you shining your light. It's you being that, attracting everybody in like a moth to a flame, except you're not going to burn them. So, it's bringing all those people in. It's bringing all that joy in because your light is shining. Your light may shine so brightly that someone trapped in darkness will see it and migrate to you. They may look to you for guidance. They may look to you for help. And that's where the bonus comes in of your own personal happiness, because now you know that struggle and you're able to move forward and help somebody else. And in the long run, it's going to help you too. I saw a post today about a girl who opened up about something that she's going through. And I told her, I said, you know what you did is very courageous, very brave, so on and so forth. And she says, I wanted to do this because I know it's going to help somebody else. I want to help other people. It's the ripple effect. It's the ripple effect. Because she will. Other people may have the courage to share something they're going through, which is going to touch somebody else. And that's what's important. It's not about how many clicks and likes and people we can drive to a website. It's about being there for one another and watching the seed you planted spread everywhere. It'll give shade to people who need that shade. It'll give support to someone who may need that support. They may need that tree to lean on for a moment. Okay? And what was interesting is I didn't get a chance to write down the part about the therapy because I ran out of room in my book. But it was also talking, I always talk about how great therapy is, but there was also a dark side to therapy. Okay, I was very lucky in the therapist that I had because she just walked me through things. She didn't suggest anything. She just walked me through things. I've had therapists in the past that said, well, and what he was talking about is when people go to therapy and say, well, I deserve to be happy. Where is it? And all they say is, yes, you do deserve to be happy, but they're not giving them the tools to figure it out. I went to the second therapist I ever went to. The first therapist ended up being a little too far from where I lived. So there was a lot of traffic, In California, 30 miles can take you like 2 hours depending on the traffic. All right. So it just depends. But okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but at least an hour and a half sometimes. But it just depends. All right. But the second therapist I went to specialized in what I was going through, what the trauma I needed to heal. And I got 0 out of it. 0. And, you could tell that he probably focused more on kids because there was a lot of toys around there. There was a lot of books. And I know that, there was this, I know that they did deal with adults that had these kind of traumas, but he talked to me like I was a kid. I didn't want someone, well, maybe I did. Maybe I wanted someone to fix it at the time because I didn't know how to fix it. Finally, when I found my last therapist, it was magical. She didn't try to fix me. She tried to give me the tools to help me heal myself. And it still continued after I left therapy. But the reason I left therapy is because I started bottling everything up. I started holding everything in until I would go see her every Friday. It was kind of like the end of the week thing, right? I'd let it all just sit and simmer and stew and whatever. And that wasn't good for me. And I knew that I had to stop that. I knew I had to find a better outlet. And that's exactly what she was trying to teach me. In fact, we both agreed at the end that I was where I needed to be at, and that now I had to learn on my own, but that, I was always welcome to come back. I was always welcome to come back if I needed to be, if I needed, to come back to work something out. But she gave me all these tools, and now I'm sharing them, and now I know of people who are sharing them. And it was a magical experience for me. It was transformative in a lot of ways. And yeah, it's still taken me several years after to really kind of put into, effect everything that I learned. But I also knew that I couldn't keep going with the path I was going on because I was becoming dependent. And that's not what I want to be. I want to be free and loose, and that's a decision some people have to make. Some people never get to that point. I was lucky enough to do that because when I walked in the very first day, I was ready to go. It's like, you know what? This is what I want. I want to wash my hands clean of everything that I've gone through, and I want to heal. I'm ready to heal. And I had to make that conscious choice. I chose my happiness. Okay? Only you are in charge of your happiness. It was on me. Only you are in charge of your happiness. So this is what I read from their website. The only real cure for such mental maladies of, I have a right to happiness, so where is it? And then people get angry about it because it's not happening the way they want it to. So this is where it picks up. The only real cure for such mental maladies is the one nobody wants to hear, but that most people know is true. Take responsibility for your life. Demand freedom and then live up to that freedom. Set goals. Choose them for yourself and only for yourself. Yes, this can mean being selfish, but in a healthy, self-affirming way. Selfishness in this sense means being totally responsible for yourself. Yes, it can be scary, and it certainly contradicts all the victim talk or victim think that we hear nowadays, but it is a surefire way to achieve happiness and true peace of mind. Now, there are bits and pieces that a lot of us would probably disagree with. Okay, it's not necessarily the surefire way for some people. For the majority, probably yes. Okay, but this is a psychologist, this is a therapist, and this is probably how they run their sessions. But again, I'm going to read this one more time because I think it's really important that people hear this. The only real cure for such mental maladies is to oh my God, seriously, let me try this again. The only real cure for such mental maladies is the one nobody wants to hear, but that most know is true. Good Lord. Take responsibility for your life. Demand freedom and then live up to that freedom. Live up to that freedom. Set goals. Choose them for yourself and not for anybody else. Yes, this can mean being selfish, but in a healthy, self-affirming way. Selfishness in this sense means being totally responsible for yourself. Yes, it can be scary, and it certainly contradicts all the victim think we hear nowadays, but it is a surefire way to achieve happiness and true peace of mind. If you do not take responsibility for yourself, you are never going to heal. If you are constantly putting your healing in somebody else's hands and expecting somebody else to make you happy so that you feel whole, you are never going to be completely happy. That I truly believe. Am I a professional? Not by any stretch of the imagination. Have I lived this and understand it? Yes. This is personal experience I'm drawing from. The whole perspective is basically personal experience that I draw from. Surprisingly, I don't really consider myself to be that old, but I got a lot of experience under my belt with a lot of different things. A lot of things that I've experienced through my life. And a lot of that comes from the understanding and the healing that I've had to do in just the last 7 years. Just the last 7 years. And if we don't take responsibility for ourselves, if we don't take responsibility for our happiness, and we continually put that key of our happiness into somebody else's pocket, we're going to always feel stuck. if you feel like somebody is holding you down, wiggle out from underneath that. Okay, I know it's not always easy. And yeah, it's like my auntie says, all the books that they study does not compare to walking through it. No, it doesn't. The books do help. But, and this is, a lot of people actually give, now I'm going to move, I think she's talking about like the psychology books and stuff that they read, but I'm going to move into self-help and self-love books. A lot of people give that a hard time. But believe it or not, when you start reading them, there are things in there that start to resonate with you. I just kind of joked about self-help and self-love books when I was growing up. Kind of like, yeah, whatever, all that hokey stuff. Then when I read my first one, it hit me between the eyes. And it was one of the biggest ones I ever read was called Losing Your Pounds of Pain. And I just read it because it's like, oh, weight loss book. And it was more than that. What they meant by the pounds of pain was your emotional pounds, your emotional pain. And there were stories in this book that resonated so much with me that I would be in tears sometimes at the end of the chapter. And for no other reason than I didn't feel alone. The story wasn't mine, but I felt seen. I felt heard. And as I began to feel that, I began to feel this light starting to shine within me. I started to feel this darkness dissipate so that this fireplace of joy that lives within me would start to be unfogged and would become more and more clear. And, there are times when I really have to work harder to keep that fire burning. But that's life. That's what we go through. However, when you become an expert in yourself, keeping that fire going becomes much easier, even in those dark days, even in those dark moments. Because you have that mental picture in your heart or in your head about this flame that's burning in your heart, that's burning in your soul, this light that's shining outwards, that draws other people to you. You may be sitting there sometimes and people might just start talking to you and you might be thinking, what the actual hell? Do I look like I know you? But people, this happens. If you're an empath, this happens. Somebody's soul knows where they can go to be heard and without judgment. And the only way we can help people is by making sure that we keep stoking our fires of happiness. Helping people, making other people happy outside of ourselves, that's the bonus. That's the extra joy. Those are the extra logs that you get to put next to your fire and say, hey, I did that for somebody. You don't need the credit for it, but you know what you've done. You have seen it firsthand. You've experienced it firsthand. And now you're seeing all the things that you went through and that you healed are starting to heal others. So remember, it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. Okay? Make sure you keep that fireplace of joy and happiness stoked within your heart and your soul. Okay? All the other wonderful things that we do for people, those are bonuses. And the best part is, believe it or not, when you are feeling good inside of yourself, you are feeling your own joy, your own happiness, I guarantee you that when you do something for somebody else, the joy is actually going to be much greater and much more impactful in your own life, because you're not looking to somebody else to make you happy. You're already there. So you truly get to enjoy in this joy that they're experiencing, because you already feel it inside of yourself. And it makes you even happier to see them smiling. So, okay, let's see. It's like, oh, my auntie says, it's like I have a sign on my head stating that one may pour out their problems from people I don't know. That's an empathic behavior. That is truly straight up empathic behavior. And I know talking about empaths may be out of some people's wheelhouse, but it's basically an energy that you put out there. If you're ever walking through a mall and you go in feeling like, yeah, you know, but maybe it's Christmas time, right? And it's chaotic and you come out feeling drained. A lot of that is because of the energy in that space you were in. You're soaking it all in. You have to bubble. Whether you think you're an empath or not, bubble yourselves. I know it sounds ridiculous, but just say, you know what? I'm so happy and grateful that my energy stays protected as I go out into the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It can be as simple as that. And then just let it out there, let it go. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Sometimes there are people that can really drain you without you even realizing it, and it might suck a little bit of the life out of you. But just recenter, take your deep breath, stay calm, and recenter and rebalance. Okay? So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for hanging in there. This was Things to Think on Thursday, number 24 in Self-Love December. Tomorrow is our last lesson. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little excited about it. But we're there. We're there. Okay, 25 of these. All right, we just finished 24. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Facebook Live. It is public. You do not need to be my friend to watch this, or you can catch the replay later on YouTube or Twitter. All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Auntie. I love you too, and you stay safe as well. Have a great day, everyone.